Hi, everybody. My name is Dr. Katie Romeo. I am the director of the Office of Academic Success at the Donald and Barbara Zucker School of Medicine at Hofstra Northwell. I'm also an emergency room physician, and probably most relevant to you guys, I'm a graduate of this program. So I have been pretty much in your exact shoes when it comes to studying for step one. And so I know how daunting it sometimes can seem. And so I wanted to send out this email with this video to help you guys lay the foundation for how you should be building your study schedule during step one. When you schedule your individual study meetings with me, we will create a very specific plan for you. What that means is we'll take into consideration the way that you like to study best, the times of the day that you like to study, how many breaks you typically need in a day or in a week, as well as your strengths and weaknesses and how much UWorld you have left to complete. Those are all very personal things and obviously can't be replicated on a generic schedule like this, but we will go over those in our one-on-one meetings. We're also going to talk today a little bit about the logistics of using UWorld, right? What resources you should be using, and then what a schedule typically looks like over the course of the whole ISP period. These are questions that students have very often, and I think it's very reasonable to discuss these generic things first, and then when we meet one-on-one, we'll talk about the specifics and how we can modify it for you. So let's pull up this PowerPoint. Introduction to the creation of a step one study plan. So one question that we get all the time is, what should a general daily schedule look like? So on the right here, you see the standard example schedule. This schedule will usually always consist of 2 blocks of questions and some review in the evening. Obviously, the timing of those blocks and the time of day of those blocks will vary depending on you as a student and as a learner. You know, if you'd rather get up in the morning or you'd rather work late at night or how many breaks you need. That's all going to be dependent on you, but generally it's going to be 2 40-question blocks. The first block in the morning, we're going to do 40 questions on tutor mode. Tutor mode generally means that you will do the question and then review the question. So it's not timed. You have as much time as you need to complete the question and as much time as you need to review the question. Generally, doing a block of 40 questions and reviewing it takes students about 2 to 3 hours, especially in the beginning. As time progresses and they become more familiar with this content again, that time period does tend to shorten. We tend to say that this should be, at least in the beginning, a major topic. What I mean by major topic is to start with one of the big 4 topics, whether that's cardio, pulmonary, GI, or neuro. Of course, those are not the only 4 big topics, right? There's hem-onc, there's rheumatology, there's renal, and there's infectious disease and microbiology. But we want to start with these big topics first to ensure that we get the bulk of the content under our belt. Then we're going to take a break in the afternoon, eat lunch, go to the gym. We'll do a second block of 40 questions on tutor mode and review it in the afternoon, again on a major topic. It can be the same major topic that you did initially, or it could be a different major topic. Some students like to switch it up and get a little bit of exposure to everything, and some students just like to stay consistent throughout the day or for a couple of days, and that's completely fine. You'll then take a break in the afternoon, do some human things like go to the gym, take a shower, eat dinner, make a TikTok, whatever it is that you like to do. And then in the evening, you should do some more review. And generally, the review will mean not learning new content, but trying to consolidate previously learned content. So whether that be through the use of Anki, if you are an Anki person, or Pathoma, students generally like, especially the first 3 videos of Pathoma to supplement their learning, Words and Beyond or Sketchy. The other thing that I tell students to do is, if they have enough time and they don't feel burnt out, is to do a 15 to 20 question block. So a smaller block of a minor topic. These minor topics are topics that are not considered one of the big 4 or the big topics, but they are testable. So topics such as dermatology and ophthalmology, ENT, pregnancy, male and female reproductive system. These are all examples of topics you're going to need to know, but are not considered major topics. And so thus you spend a proportionately less time on them. Also, you can alternate this with doing a block of incorrect questions from prior topics. I love this because this allows you to continue to consolidate and reinforce through spaced repetition the knowledge that you already gathered in the weeks prior, and so you don't forget it. You can mix these up and even practice doing them timed. So students often ask, what resources should I be using? Really, first aid for the USMLE Step 1 and UWorld are the gold standard. Again, students like to supplement with Anki, with Pathoma, with Sketchy, with Amboss, and that's perfectly fine, but none of those should replace the primary resources of UWorld and First Aid. So when you get a UWorld question and you're reading through the explanation that they provide you, you can supplement and annotate into First Aid any of the notes that you maybe are not familiar with, any concepts that you want to review. We can make concept maps and build those into First Aid. And we could talk a little bit more of the specifics of this when we meet one-on-one, exactly how do we annotate in First Aid. But you will want to use the UWorld explanations and First Aid side by side, synergistically, to help you build this knowledge. So how do we even make this happen on UWorld, right? What are the logistics of UWorld? So I will share with you what it looks like when you pull up UWorld. So when you first sign into UWorld, you'll get the welcome screen. It will look like this. You will see your score, your total correct, your total omitted. You'll see how many answer changes you made. You'll see how much of the QBank you used, how many used and unused questions you had, and then a little bit about the test that you've done and your percentile rank. We're going to want to go to Create Test, and we're going to click on Tutor Mode as we discussed before. As you get a little bit closer to your exam and you want to practice on timed, you check off the timed box and uncheck tutor. But right now, we just want to do everything on tutor mode. We're going to click on unused. Again, if we're doing the incorrect block, we can click on incorrect. But for now, just stick with the unused. We're going to want to then check off all of the subjects so that every single one of these subjects is represented within a systems block. Then we're going to want to choose the block that we're going to do. So I will give you the example of starting with cardiovascular, which is one of the big four. This has 422 unused questions. So the way I will go about figuring out how many days I need to get through these cardio questions is I will take the total number of questions, 422, and I will divide it by 80 questions a day. That will generally give me the number of questions that I need. I'm sorry, the number of days that I need to make it through this cardiovascular systems. Now, students generally ask how much of UWorld should they be completing? Really, you should aim to complete 100% of UWorld because every percentage of UWorld that's incomplete is a little bit of knowledge that you may not be able to answer come test day. It's okay if you can't get through it all, but just get through as much as you can, aiming for 100%. Really try to get at least 75%. So 75 to 100% should be our goal to get through UWorld. So then we can also look at our previous tests. We could review them. We could look at our performance. Again, it will show us, this in graph form, and it will show us this in report form. And then there's some notes. If you took any notes, you can see that as well in UWorld. So now that we've done all this, we've done all the math of figuring out how many days it's going to take to get through all of these topics, what does this look like populated into a calendar? So I'll show you. So we're just going to pull up one of our Word documents that we've created as an example study plan. So this is an example of April 2023. And here we can see starting on April 2nd, that this particular student was working on pulmonology, trying to get through 80 questions of pulm a day, and decided to stick with one topic before they moved on to the next, and then decided to do a smaller incorrect block in the evenings of their incorrect cardio questions, which is the block that they did prior. Again, you can mix this up. It could be many different systems. It doesn't have to just be one, but this is what the student decided to do. This student then alternated that with 20 questions in the evening of a minor topic, as mentioned before. This student planned for a CBSSA to do and review one about every week. So depending on how much time you have for your ISP, again, this will be something a little bit more individualized. We will try to come up and decide with how many tests it is appropriate for you to complete before you sit for your exam and how spaced apart they should be. This student decided to do one about every week. Their test was on April 25th. So then, again, OAS is here to help you modify these generic recommendations. What works for one student does not work for every student. And so just because these are recommendations doesn't mean it's the end all be all. There are other ways to do this, and we can help you with that. If you have specific questions, this is how you can reach me. Again, my name is Katie Romeo. You can reach me at my Northwell email or through the academic success email that's listed there below. My office is located in room 113 at the School of Medicine, and I am very happy to meet with anybody, whether it be an email, over in person, or on Zoom, to discuss this further, to create a study plan, and to help you guys get the best score possible. So try not to stress too much. You will make it through this study period, and you will come out the other side. And I am happy to help you through it.